Good evening, good evening. It's another Tuesday with a mental catalyst, and I hope everybody watching has had a wonderful weekend and the week has started well. Last week was season 2, session 13, entitled Just Do It, and it was basically about, excuses, why we make excuses and how we can curtail or minimize the excuses we make in our day-to-day lives, in a way to succeed at the things that we set out to do. So today's is entitled Grit, purpose, passion, and perseverance. So this morning when I woke up, I got a message from my brother in Germany, Tim, and the message read, he woke up and the first thing he wanted to do was to go watch Tuesdays with a Mental Catalyst, and he realized that he couldn't find the video, only for him to realize that today is actually not Wednesday, because he normally watches on Wednesday morning, the first thing he does when he wakes up. Because of the time difference, he doesn't get to watch it, on Tuesday evening. So he woke up, thinking today was Wednesday and was really looking forward to watching the Mental Catalyst. So I kind of teased him and we laughed about it. But the message to me was, we have people who are appreciating what we are doing through what we do with the Mental Catalyst, and people are looking forward to it. So it's very humbling and very inspiring, knowing that people are looking forward to it. So for everybody who makes time to watch live or record it, I want to say thank you. I'm actually having a blast with it. I'm discovering a lot about myself that I didn't know, and I believe that others who have also watched it or continue to watch are also gaining from, spending time in watching. So I want to tell you a little story about my favorite boxer. I'm not a sports person. I don't like football. I don't like tennis match and all of those things. But I like boxing, right? And my favorite boxer is Floyd Mayweather Jr., okay? And Floyd is an American. He's an ex-boxer now. He's retired. And he's also a boxing promoter now and also a coach. So Floyd started boxing at the age of 7 years. And all the odds were against Floyd. Floyd should not be able to have done what he has done in his lifetime as a boxer, being that he was part of a very dysfunctional family. His father, at a very young age, was heavily into drugs. The mother was into drugs, and the father got imprisoned for a very long time. He had 2 other uncles. One, Uncle Roger was also who became his trainer, also got imprisoned. The mother was like a junkie, so he had to, at a very early stage in his life, go live with a grandmother and stuff like that. So, he had a hard life. But today, when we look back at the life of Floyd, who is still alive, I think he's probably like 44 years old now, something like that. In his boxing career, professional boxing career, Floyd has earned about $1.1 billion US. He's currently worth close to $500 million, okay? But why was Floyd successful? And those who know Floyd, most people hate Floyd because he's very brash, he's very in your face. He's always, he's not the type of personality that people want to see him succeed. People always root against him. People, bet against him to lose. But there was something about Floyd. Floyd knew from an early age, 7, what he wanted to be with it and what he wanted to do with his life. So the fact that his father was a boxer, his uncle Roger was also a boxer, and having grown up around boxers, he quickly realized that it was something he wanted to do and he had a talent for it. So at the early age of 7, he started training and practicing. Okay, so Floyd finished his boxing career with a record of 50-0. Has 50 wins, 0 losses, with 27 knockouts. Okay, and is one of the most successful boxers in history, considering the record that he has set and the kind of money he has made, right? So now, going back to the earlier story I talked about, Tim, leaving the message of waking up and looking forward to TMC, and couldn't find it. A couple of years back, a while back, I remember waking up at, I woke up early, I woke up at the middle of the night, went to have my shower, got dressed, and open, the doors and stuff like that. And I was heading out to my French classes at Alliance Française, because at that time, I was so driven and motivated, and that was at the height of Cornet. That's my first company. And I was so driven and motivated that I wanted to learn how to speak French, because now we're expanding into the Francophone countries, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and stuff like that. And I wanted to learn French. So I had gone to sign up for Alliance Française. And I was so driven and focused that I wanted to know French, so that when we go into those meetings, I'm not going to be having interpreters tell me, what they are saying. When they laugh, I laugh, and I don't even know why they're laughing and stuff like that. I didn't want to put myself in an embarrassing situation. So I forgot that when I woke up and got dressed and I was going out, and because I was opening the burglar proofs and all the locks and things like that, the people in the house woke up, and they came around and said, Daddy, where are you going? I said, I'm going to class. I have French in the morning, I'm going to class. And they asked me, Daddy, do you know what time it is? And I said, no. And like, it's 2 a.m. So why would I wake up at 2 a.m., get dressed, that I'm going for a class that starts at 8 o'clock? Today's title is about grit. It's about grit. Remember I talked about I've been searching, trying to figure out one's purpose in life and why people succeed and how we can all succeed. And as much as some of these things I've talked about them in the past, as the days go by, I'm increasingly becoming more convinced that success is truly a choice. And today's topic is one of those that I hope that you guys will take seriously, because this is it. It's truly, success is a choice. But what is grit? Grit is a personality trait possessed by individuals who demonstrate passion and perseverance toward a goal despite being confronted by significant obstacles. So it's a personality trait possessed by individuals who demonstrate passion and perseverance toward a goal despite being confronted by significant obstacles. So if you take Floyd, with all the drama and everything around him, Floyd should not have made it, but he had grit. Now, when I look back and as I continue to read and continue to research, I've realized that most of the successful people I admire and I look up to these days are people of grit, people who have possessed passion and perseverance and did not relent. Today, most of us, we are just roaming and coasting. We have dreams, we have aspirations, but we don't really understand what we ought to do to super succeed at them. We don't. When I take my personal experience, the only difference is that I've not been super consistent. So as much as I'll practice some of these things, I didn't understand the true import of them, how relevant these principles and attitudes and behaviors were, and how it all ties into my bigger agenda in terms of my purpose and goals that I have. Okay? So, this personality trait is not something you have to be born with, it's something you can cultivate. But first of all, you have to know what your purpose is. Now, if you're listening, ask yourself, what's your purpose, your mission in this life? Now, you can't really define and write on your purpose when you don't know what your interests are. That's why we miss it. You have to know where your interests lie. Now, when you know where your interests lie, you are able to use that to derive at what your purpose is going to be. But when you don't have, if you've not been able to align your interest with your purpose, and you define a purpose that doesn't have an interest of yours in it, you're going to struggle, because guess what? The road ahead is going to be difficult, it's going to be tough, and you're going to give up. Okay, remember the key words, 4 greats: purpose, passion, and perseverance. The 3 P's, right? Now, it's not really about your IQ or your talent. Most people think that, you have to be super smart, you have to be super privileged. No, there's been extensive scientific research done all over the world that points to the fact that people who succeed are people of grit. And what that means is that these are people who are passionate about their goals, the things they do, and are very persevering. But most importantly, they put in effort, action, consistently. Consistently. So the first thing is, look, define your goal. So let's take what we're doing. Last week I talked about my 3 goals. One is what? 1 billion healthy lives. That's a huge, big, high-level goal that I have set. 1 billion healthy lives. The second one is TMC show. Every Tuesday we're going to have it for the next 20 years. Then the third one is for me to what? Read 52 books every year. Till I pop. Every year. 52 books. Okay? So, now, why are these 3 things relevant? Now, when you have a purpose, your purpose ultimately has to be geared towards serving mankind, humanity. It's okay to have a self-serving purpose, but when it's tied to the general good of humanity, it's a different story. So when I talk about 1 billion healthy lives, it's not about Michael. It's about what? Increasing the health span of 1 billion people all over the world, people that I may never even get to know. We talk about TMC. You're going to do that for the next 20 years. And I want people all over the world to what? Have access to TMC, be inspired, motivated, and driven by it so that they can live their best lives. It's not about Michael. Now, the 50 books a year, even though it's personal, it adds to what? The bigger agenda of TMC and 1 billion healthy lives. Because the more I read, the more I know. The more I realize I don't know, the more I read, and the more I'm able to communicate and also support other people. So it's okay to have your own personal selfish goal, but it's important, or it's better for you to have a bigger goal that is focused on improving, impacting, transforming lives. Okay? Now let me give you the parable of the bricklayers, yeah? So you have 3 bricklayers, and they were all asked, what are you doing? The first one said, I'm laying bricks. The second one said, I'm building a church. And the third one said, I'm building the house of God. Now, why is this important? Now, listen to me. The first one said, I'm laying bricks. The second one said, I am building a church. The third one said, I'm building the house of God. Today, most of us are just laying bricks. Most of us are just building a church. Now, what does that mean? When you are just laying bricks, you just have a job. Most people today just have jobs. They are not interested in the job. They just go 8 to 5. They just want to get paid, and that's about it. They just do it whether somebody's life is impacted, whether the company succeeds, doesn't succeed. They don't care. They are just in there to get paid, and that's about it. Those are the people in the category of just laying, bricks. Okay? Now you have the second category of people who are the people who build the church. Now, these people are career people. So they go in there, they're a little bit higher than the bricklayers, the people who are just treating everything like it's just a job. But these guys are not really going out of their comfort zones to do bigger things. But where you want to be is to be in the last category, where you are building a house of God. And that is when you have the calling. So most of us today are doing jobs, find ourselves in positions of whatever we do in terms of how we live. We don't have the calling. You need to have the calling. That is where the action is. That is where fulfillment is. That is where, no matter what comes at you, you have passion, you have perseverance, and you go after it, and you don't fail. Even though you fail, you get up. You fail, you get up, and you go. So you want to be in a position where whatever you're doing, you have a calling. So I, for one, Michael, I can say, look, I have a calling as an entrepreneur. Okay? I have a calling as an entrepreneur, whereby I want to do what? Impact the lives of 1 billion people, impact the lives of another set of billion people through TMC. That is my calling. Now, because I'm passionate about it, I will persevere regardless of whatever obstacles I face. So Sunday, and the past 2 months have been slow for me because money is not flowing and development on Oxy is slowing down, and it's really not making me happy. Yeah? It's really putting me in a dark place. So when I assess where we were with, A Billion Healthy Lives through Noxie, I wasn't feeling too proud and too good about it. When I looked at TMC, I think we are doing okay with TMC, even though I may give it a 7 out of 10. It's not really where I want it to be. But when I look at my reading, out of my 52 books that I have to read this year, I have done 27. Now, when I look at the target, it means that I have 16 more weeks to go. So technically, I need to read about a book and a half, or tops 2 books a week, to be able to hit my target. Okay? And I said to myself, okay, look, pick up the slack, man. Even though I'm feeling blue and down, I need to move. I need to persevere. I need to be gritty. Because guess what? Because the more I read, the more motivated I get, the more I'm able to handle, the dull moments, and the more I'm able to contribute towards the Billion Healthy Lives and TMC. But I can choose not to do the reading and hit the target. But if I do that, I'm harming myself and I'm harming the billions out there that tomorrow will benefit from what we are doing. So when you have the calling, you don't make mistakes. You don't make, not the mistakes, but you don't make excuses. You find ways of going forward. So if you're listening to me, even if you're in a job today, okay, first of all, self-evaluate. I'm not saying quit your job, but you can find a way to repackage the job you have in a way that it becomes your calling of a sort. But if after all the self-reflection, introspection, and all of that, and it's not, there's nothing wrong with you moving when you identify what your calling is. And your calling may not just come overnight. I will say my calling, I'll figure it out after 30 years of entrepreneurship. 30 years of entrepreneurship. So some may get it right away, just like Floyd got his right from the beginning. Okay? And now this is what is also very important. Yeah? Remember I talked about talent and IQ. It's not all in all. When you take talent and you multiply it by effort, you get skills. Now, when you take skills and you multiply it by effort, you get achievement. And that is where you want to be. So the message here really is about effort. Not about your privileged background. Not about you're super sharp, you're talented, or whatever it is. There are a lot of talented people who have not been successful. There are a lot of people with high IQ, they've not been successful. But the research and science is telling us that the people who succeed are people who are passionate about the purpose, who persevere and put in the effort. So seek and look for what? Your calling. It's very, very important. Remember, you spend a third of your life sleeping. Roughly another third working. The other third, you do social media, all the other social things and all of those things, yeah? So you want to make sure that you're living well and smart. So at the end of the day, you don't look back and regret. Truly, success is a choice, my brothers and sisters. I am telling you. We've talked about the power of, positive thinking, staying focused. It's okay to fail. We talked about being, obsessed. Now today we're talking about grit. We're talking about grit, okay? Now, how can you persevere? What are some of the things you can do to persevere? Okay? Keep your goal and visions. Keep your goal visible at all times. So, by virtue of what we are doing through TMC, the Billion Healthy Lives vision is visible to me at all times. TMC is visible to me at all times. Reading is visible to me at all times. Okay? So 1, keep your goal visible at all times, so that way you're always in the zone. You're mindful, you're aware. Recall past persistence. So look back into your past in situations where things were tough, they were hard, but you persevered. Okay, you persisted, you kept going, you were relentless, and then you crossed over. So that when you find yourself in a dull moment, you're able to tap into that experience to rise above the challenge. Take a step. Last lesson was just do it. A lot of times, a lot of people suffer from paralysis of decisions. Yeah, you want to always have everything planned, be sure, and all of those. It doesn't work like that. Have a fairly decent idea and jump into it. Take that step. Jump into it. Okay, you're not going to die. If you die, you will learn from it. But you're not going to die. Yeah, just jump into it. Take that action. Don't be afraid. Okay, it's about effort. And when you accept that failure is part of the process of being successful, it minimizes and helps you deal with the sense of failure and the reasons why we fail. Okay, set your pace. Okay, I talked about reading the book. So now, given that I have 16 weeks left in the year to hit my target, I have to set my pace. So what it means is that I have to ensure that I'm reading about 2 books a week to hit that target. And I'm very determined to meet that target because guess what? I've put it out there. And as you're watching, 31st December, ask me whether I did. Okay, maybe later in the week, I'll post, what I have read and how long it's taking me. And I will talk about it later as well. Just keep going. Be like an Energizer battery, yeah? Just keep going. No matter the odds, keep going. Kutakunte in roots. Try to seek your freedom. So whatever it is, just keep going. Say a short prayer, keep going. Have positive people around you. Have mentors. Level up and just keep going. Keep going. When your passion is tied to your interest, when you are working, it doesn't feel like a job. You just love what you're doing. That's where you want to find yourself or place yourself. Okay? And why is passion key to success? Passion makes it harder for you to give up. I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship that no matter the valleys that I find myself in, I can't give up because I can't do anything else. I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship because I know that through entrepreneurship, I can transform lives. And as a technologist, I know we can do miracles with technology. So with the passion of being an entrepreneur, I am constantly what? Sorry, my back hurts. It's hard for me to give up. 2, makes you a harder worker. Most people who know me know that, Charlie, I put in the hours. But because I'm passionate about what I'm doing, I put in the hours and I don't even think twice or blink about it. There are days when I forget, there are times when I can even forget. I've not even eaten. I've not even taken a drink. I've not even drank water. I'm so focused because guess what? I know the agenda is huge and I got to keep going. I got to keep going. And sometimes people find you strange. People find it difficult to relate to you. But what they don't get is that, look, you're a man on mission. You're a man on fire. Okay? And that fire cannot dim. You got to keep going. Okay? Only you know your destination. People may have an idea, but they don't really understand the destination, and you know what it takes. And most of the time, you're equally struggling. Okay? You have your own little demons and doubts and all of those things, but you have to keep going. Passion helps you go. Okay? Changes your attitude towards difficulties. Now, when you're passionate, no matter the obstacles, remember I talked about it, that when I am confronted with obstacles and difficulties, I talk to myself, I laugh, I smile. Sometimes I'm like, Charlie, this thing kicked my butt, man, Charlie, but I got to find a way. All right? So as much as the difficulties come, because I'm passionate about what I'm doing, I find a way to keep going. That is when I move into my eagle mode, my lion mode, or my pussycat mode, but I find a way to keep going. So always find a way to go when you are passionate. Okay? So find things that you're passionate about and invest your time in those. And it prevents you from wasting time. So most people who know me will say, Charlie Michael, you're so intense, you're so focused, because I don't have time to waste. I have 1 billion plus people's life I want to impact. So why do I have to waste? I don't have time. Time is limited. So I've got to keep going. And it's difficult to have people to understand you. But the interesting thing is that you also have some people who understand you and support you and love you for who you are. And even though they may not fully understand you, they just kind of believe in you. Okay? They just kind of believe in you. So do not waste time. Live your life on your own terms. Don't live your life to be pleasing people. No. It's about you. It's about you. Okay? Increases your focus. It increases your focus. You have to be laser focused. Like the eagle in the sky, beyond the clouds, man. When it finds a prey and it determines that, Charlie, I'm going for that prey, Charlie, it zooms in and grabs it. So, but when you are passionate, automatically, you become focused and you are increasingly focused. So, in a conclusion, what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters, is let's be gritty. Let's have that purpose. Let's have the passion and let's persevere. Now, let me leave you with this last piece. Check out this website. Type it in your browser after this session. Relentless.com. 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 The company, the person behind this company, and the culture behind this company, the culture is culture of grit. The person is the person of grit. Through that, the person was able to do what you will find when you type in relentless.com. That is the proof that you need. And I'm telling you that if others have done it, we can equally do it. So type in your browser after this session, relentless.com, and know that the company got to where it got to. The founder got to where he got to because he was gritty. He found his passion, he persevered, and he gave his all. And relentless.com belongs to him. That is your proof. My brothers and sisters, I wish you a gritty life. Let us succeed together. I love you guys, and thank you for having another evening with me. Take care. Bye-bye.